Good evening. If we all take our seats, we're about ready to start. Quiet. I want to welcome you all this evening to the Museum of Newport Irish History's fundraiser. So happy to see everyone here. I'm actually not going to say much because Mike has a full intro to our speaker into the evening. But we really appreciate your sponsorship and your presence and really support you've given us through all our events. So, Michael, ready? Here's Mike. Mike Slane's my predecessor, as you all know, and it's been very, very difficult to follow in Mike's footsteps. Okay. Yeah, and Mike has been a little.
Yeah, thanks for everyone being here. It's nice to see all these smiling faces. I wanted to talk a little bit about what brought us here tonight, because this odyssey started in the summertime. We had a fundraising committee meeting under the watchful eye and the care of Kathy Papp. And where are you, Kathleen? And she guided us through a process over several months where we decided a very conscious decision not to have another annual fundraiser. You folks were so generous, supported the membership over the past 2 years, 2 annual fundraisers that we had they were born out of necessity, and we know what the necessity was. COVID hit, and then the loss of the rotunda at Easton Speech, which provided that beautiful venue for our annual gala. So with that, we elected to have an annual fundraiser, and this year we said we're not going to do that again. So we just transitioned that moment into, as Deanna said, what we called fundraiser over the months. We decided to do something that would be fun, entertaining, for you, to thank you, all of our membership, and make sure that it was affordable. It was kept at minimal cost to pay the expenses, and that was it. So here we are here tonight with Cahal Dunne, and many of you have already heard him twice. Some of you, this will be the third time. He's really, really solid, great entertainer. He first of all has his roots in Ireland. He's a native of suburb of Cork City, County Cork. About 45 years ago, his song, The Happy Man, became Ireland's #1 song and propelled him onto the international stage at the Eurovision musical concert in Israel. And that year, he sold 250,000 copies of his record, Happy Man. And so he's gone on from there. He's an acclaimed author. Some of his books are for sale here. And you can take a look at that afterwards. There are flyers on your seats that talk about some of the work that he's done. He's written music, composer. Boy, that light's bright. Thank you. Yeah, wow. So we're very, very privileged to have him here with us tonight. And sorry, there we go. Okay, it's funny. He does a couple things that are very interesting. One of them is he had a rollicking bus tour of Ireland, coast to coast, and he's now tells me tonight he's cut it back to 1 a year. But I mention that for those of you that haven't been to Ireland, it's worth looking up on his website and just go to Cahal Dunne, and take a look at that. And he's doing one this year, and he'll tell you what the dates are on that. And with that, I think what I would like to do, and is he's back here. Come on out there, Kyle. And I would like to add just a couple of things. You're looking at a gent here who's performed for several presidents. He's performed with Al Martino, Frank Sinatra, Tony Orlando. And I saw a common thread there, and that is that when the Italians run into trouble and need a crutch, they call it Irishman. So take a look, please, at his book, Athenry, back here, and great to have you. Take it away.
Thank you, Mike. Wow. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you very, very much, Mike. And Mike Sline is a friend of mine. He should be my agent. I never got such an intro like that in my life. It's a pleasure to be here in beautiful Newport / Middletown. I come from about a half an hour from your twin city in Cork, Kinsale, which is equally gorgeous. And I'm proud to be an Irishman. We have a great history. It's a sad one, but it's a proud one nonetheless. And I'm very proud to be an American citizen. I've lived in many countries, and without a doubt, this is the best I've ever lived in because of lots of reasons. But the main thing is decency. That's the big word that is in abundance in this country. I could tell you loads and loads of examples. For example, just one quick little instance. You know the way like you might sell a CD or something, so I didn't bring a bit of money. I say, look, you're to take it and send me the check or whatever. I have never been stiffed by an American, ever. Ever, in anything. So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, this is lovely, and I'm glad you're here. And I'm going to start off a little piece on the piano. That's what I sort of my shtick really. And these are 3 Irish reels. They're not quite played the way they're supposed to be, like a la Riverdance, very strict. But I like all sorts of music. I'm sure you do too. So I sort of stretch it out a little bit of Irish pop, blues, classical, whatever. So there's so many different styles. I just simply call this little piece Irish Stew. So thank you for coming. Here we go. Thank you. Excuse my back for a few, I'll turn around every few minutes. Hello again. Thank you very much. Okay. It was? Oh, good. I love you already. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, we grew up, unfortunately, I say, in Ireland speaking English, mostly because of our history, you know, the history. And, but there were some pockets of Ireland, of course, that still speak Irish, thankfully. And so my parents were very into that. And they sent all of us, 5 of us, to the model school in the Cork City. And we learned everything through Irish. And my first teacher, Banny Kyla, Mrs. Kiley, was really my first mentor musically, because she taught us all these little simple little tunes, and they were marvelous. And we'd sing them, little angels that we were at 4 years old. And I thought, just for all the Irish people and the Irish Americans, just to give you a little taste of the Irish language, this is the first song that I ever learned in school with Mrs. Kiley. It's called Bóidín Eilemead, Phelim's Little Boat. Apparently, he sailed off the west coast of Donegal all his life, and this is the little song. And I thought you might like to hear the little choir that we were 4 years old. And little bit of the Atlantic Ocean right now, you know. It's a nice day today on the Atlantic. So here's the ocean. A couple of seagulls bring in the choir. That's it. But they sound lovely. Here we go. Bóidín Eilemead, Jimmy go gola, Bóidín Eilemead, Spilum me own. Bóidín Eilemead, Jimmy go gola, Bóidín Eilemead, Spilum me own. Bóidín bídach, Bóidín biosach, Bóidín boyach, Bóidín Eilemead. Bóidín díreach, Bóidín deontach, Bóidín dála me feilim me own. Phelim's little boat went to Gola, Phelim's little boat sailing away. Phelim's little boat went to Gola, Phelim's little boat sailing away. Bóidín bídach, Bóidín biosach, Bóidín boyach, Bóidín Eilemead, Bóidín díreach, Bóidín deontach, Bóidín Eilemead, Spilum me own. Everybody. Bóidín bídach, Bóidín biosach, Bóidín boyach, Bóidín Eilemead, Bóidín díreach, Bóidín deontach, Bóidín Eilemead, Spilum me own. Oh, yeah. Mahi, thank you very much. Real nice song. I wrote my first song when I was 13, when my first girlfriend left me. It was called You Left Me. It was deep. But I think the songs got a little bit better over the years. And this next song is the song that changed my whole destiny, if you like. That might sound corny, but it really did. I had just come out of college, as I was a music teacher for about 6 months. And I entered this song into a song contest in Ireland. And it's very similar in a more innocent way to the America's Got Talent type thing, where you call in. So they picked 8 of us out of a couple of thousand songs, put an orchestra behind us, and the public would phone in, and I won it. And that gave me the honor to represent Ireland in Eurovision in Israel in 1979. And that basically, the following day, we had one television station in Ireland, so everybody knew you, overnight. And I was able to give up the job, thanks be to God. So I never had a real job, as my mother would say. So, but anyway, this is the song, simple love song, but I'm so glad I wrote it because I wouldn't be here tonight with you. And I honestly can't imagine anything nicer than doing what I do. I've been lucky in that regard, and the mortgage is paid. So, song is called Happy Man, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go. It seemed life had no answers for me, no special meaning or plan. How could I be a happy man? Then just like in a love song you hear, making each day seem so clear. Now I can smile, I'm a happy man. I'm in love and I'm alive, happy man. Got the sun inside, happy man. I've got a girl on my mind, love in my heart, happy man. I'm in love and I'm alive, happy man. Got the sun inside, happy man. So now the whole world can see I've got all I need, I'm a happy man. And now you say it's happened to you, this love I'm feeling inside. Girl, you've made me, wow, and I will share a lifetime with you, I hope, making our dreams all come true. Now I can smile, I'm a happy man. I'm in love and I'm alive, happy man. Got the sun inside, happy man. I've got a girl on my mind, love in my heart, happy man. I'm in love and I'm alive, happy man. Got the sun inside. Hey. So now the whole world can see I've got all I need, I'm a happy man. Oh yeah, come on. I'm in love and got the sun inside. I've got a girl on my mind, love in my heart, happy man. You want to sing it? One more time. So now the whole world can see I've got all I need, I'm a Good stuff, everybody. Thank you. Ad, you're great. You're great. I was just thinking there, my first job was in Killarney, and I was still living in Cork. I moved up to Dublin after that bit of break, you know. But it's only an hour and a half on the old train, and went into the dining car for a drink, and I got chatting to the guy across the way from me, a very old man, but smart, really smart. But there was a very pretty girl, about my age, to his left, and she wasn't saying much. And finally she said, you know, she says, every time I see your smile, I want to bring you back to my place. And I said, wow. I said, wow. I said, are you single? She says, no, I'm a dentist. You know? But anyway, I was here about 7 or 8 years when I met my wife to be Kathleen. Can you imagine? 350 million in America meet a Kathleen. But she's from New Jersey, and we met in Cape May, and we are now married for 33 years, and we still hold hands, which is rather nice. Yep. If we ever let go, like, we'll kill each other. But a year later, and he was full term to the surprise of my mother, delight, I suppose, we had a little baby boy, and his name is Ryan. So he's 32, going on almost 33. But anyway, when Ryan, as you probably the Irish know, that's Irish for king. Yeah. But Rian, literally. But when he was 4, he landed a small little part in the Christmas preschool pageant. He wasn't a cow, a sheep, a donkey got off, or flew and took a part. Like, he wanted a speaking part, just like Dad. So they gave him one, literally one word, the word no. Favorite word from 2 to 6, as you remember, I'm sure. He was the innkeeper. And when Joseph asks, is there any room at the inn? Ryan says, no. Well, that was great at the rehearsal, the daylight, the boring old school, and the attention span of a 4-year-old. But when you come out here in front of all of you people and the lights are blinding you, as they are, as Mike said, it's a different ball game altogether. Anyway, the show started. Joseph and Mary come out on the backs of 2 poor old devils. Their part was the donkey, stitched together with a bit of material. Joseph hops off the donkey and he knocks at the door. And our fella doesn't come out. He's pushed out. And he hadn't a clue where he was, up to about here. And before he could figure it out, Joseph utters that famous question. He says, innkeeper, is there any room at the inn? And Ryan said, yes. Blew it. Well, somehow the show continued and ended, but sadly, our fella never went up on stage again. And the following year, something really nice happened. You'd say sweet over here, I suppose. But Kathleen was making these little white angels for the Christmas tree. And out of the blue, Ryan says, Mommy, can I have an angel for Sarah? And she knew that Sarah was a little Down syndrome little girl in their preschool class. So she wrapped up the little angel, and we went over to the sing-along that he wasn't in, of course. And at the end of it, he went down and he gave her the angel, and she was thrilled. It was lovely. And everybody was touched, you know. And I said to him when he came home, why'd you do that? He said, Dad, the teacher told us that Sarah is special, and we must include her in everything we do. Fantastic teacher, right? So for all you teachers, good for you. You stayed with it. I didn't. And you got up every morning and put on that face, as we call it in Ireland, shop face. Let's go, you know, and you did it. But anyway, I came home, doodled on the piano for a couple of days, and I come up with this little song called An Angel for Sarah. I'm sorry this thing is cutting in your way. Anyway. Here we go. Hope you like it, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go. Yesterday, my wife made white little angels. Our little boy helped her put them on the tree. Funny how sunshine comes in the strangest ways. When he turned to his mommy and he said, Christmas tree and give it to Sarah, who's not quite like me. Teacher said she's special and she needs our love. She is happy in her own world, but we must try and make her part of ours. Driving to our folks through the rain and snow, and I complain it's gonna take us hours. But Daddy, if we didn't have the rain sometimes, we would never have such pretty flowers. Can I have an angel from the Christmas tree and give it to Sarah, who's not quite like me? Teacher said she's special and she needs our love. She is happy in her own world, but we must try and make her part of ours. Can I have an angel from the Christmas tree and give it to Sarah, who's not quite like me? Teacher said she's special and she needs our love. She is happy in her own world, but we must try and make her part of ours. And give it to Sarah, who's not quite like me. Thank you. Thank you for Sarah. Thanks very, very much. And Sarah is doing fine. She bags the groceries in our supermarket in Pittsburgh. Hello, Mr. Dunn. How are you? You wrote my song. She's sweet. You know, a new term, like I'm a dinosaur when it comes to technology and all that stuff, but I'm fascinated by it all. But a new term is influencers, right? And I'd like to give you an example of a classical Irish influencer of 1790, 1830, that period. He was a fellow from Dublin called John Fields. And he coined the term nocturne, and he wrote loads of them. And he was a huge influence on Chopin, of course, the great, the best of them all, and Liszt, very difficult. And but he was, they really looked up to this guy. And I'll tell you, you can see why, because I'm going to play one of them. It's his Nocturne number 8 in B flat minor, and I hope you like it. Just a little bit of, just to show you there was a classical evolution or history, as well as all the other great music in Ireland. So Mr. Fields' Nocturne number 8. So there's that element to Irish music too. Nice, isn't it? Ladies and gentlemen, this is the biggest song in Ireland, and it has been for probably the last 10 years. And as a sort of like so-called songwriters, we're all jealous that we didn't think of it, because it's the simplest little three-chord thing, but the most effective little pop song I've ever heard. And it wasn't even written by an Irish fella. It was written by a good old boy from Texas called Steve Earle. You imagine, Mr. Earle, and he's marvelous. He's had a few hits, bluegrass, country, he's very good. But he was back in Galway a few years ago, and he was walking out in Salt Hill, just probably been there, the suburb outside of Galway. And to his left, there's the gorgeous Galway Bay. And there's this historic long mile road, and you walk it, and it's just a lovely walk, you know, delightful if it's not 20 degrees and hurricane. But anyway, uh, he was walking along and he met this girl, and they apparently had an affair. And what did she do? She dumped him. And what did he do? Not a nasty song like Taylor writes about her exes, but a good catchy one that we all love. And as I said, for anybody here with roots in the west of Ireland, this is the Galway Girl. I hope you like it. Well, I took a stroll on the old long walk on the day met a little girl and we stopped to talk on a fine soft day and I asked you, man, what's a fella to do when her hair was black and her eyes were blue? And I knew right then I'd be giving a twirl round the salted prom with a Galway girl. Oh yeah. We were halfway there when the rain came down on a day so she asked me back to her flat downtown on a fine soft day and I asked you, man, what's the fella to do? Sure, when her hair was black and her eyes were blue. So I've been all around, I took all her hand, and I lost my heart to the Galway girl. Yes, I did. When I woke up, I was all alone on a day with a broken heart and a ticket home on a fine soft day and I ask you, friends, what's the fella to do? Sure, when her hair was black and her eyes were blue. 'Cause I've been all around, I've been all over this world. Man, I ain't never seen nothing like a Galway girl. Very much. Steve Earle's just an amazing song, that isn't it? It's a little Irish tin whistle or a penny whistle. Yeah. You know, the longer and further away I've been from Ireland, the more Irish I've become. I know that sounds sort of funny, but I know you understand, like, you take it for granted being Irish in Ireland, no big deal. But when you come over here and you discover all the other nationalities and pageants and St. Patrick's Day and all all those great things, you start beginning to think like who you actually are. And as you get older, you want to see like who the hell your background was. But so uh, the song is called "The Fields of Athenry," and it's just an amazing song. And I'm slowing down a bit now, but about 10 years ago, I used to be driving 40,000 miles a year, you know, and I thought that song would make a fantastic movie. And for the people that don't know, like 3 verses written by Pete St. John in the 1970s. It's about the famine. And the first verse, they fall in love, they have a child. Second verse, the famine hits. He tries to steal some food. He gets shipped over to the colony in Australia. And the third verse, she hopes and prays and waits that he might come back again. And of the 186,000 men and women that were shipped over, less than 3% came home. Now, in fairness, there wasn't much to come home to, you know. When they served their slavery, they call it indentured service, 7 years mostly, they were a free man. Anyway, so the next best thing was, of course, to write a book. I figured I could do that. And about 7 or 8 years ago, I started just researching. I had my start, and I sort of had the end, and I sort of had the middle, but I had to read and read and read. And I put it together, and I have it here for you tonight. Ta-da! Athenry. And essentially, my heroes are Liam and Moira. They fall in love. They meet at an American wake or a living wake where a couple have found the money somehow to get out of Ireland. It was hell in those days. And their parents put on a little party for them. But they know the following day they'll never see them again. The American wake. Savage but real. And he plays a little tin whistle piece that he's written sometime prior to that, sort of suits the solemnness of the occasion, and catches her eye, and the court, they marry, they have a child, and then the famine breaks out. And as you all probably know, there was loads of food in Ireland. There was never any need for the famine, but compassion wasn't there in those days. The Quakers were great. The Choctaw Indians were marvelous. The English were lousy. But anyway, it was awful. And poor old Liam gets shipped off on a 4-month journey to Australia. And that's an interesting read as well. And then he's a brilliant horseman as well as a musician. And he's there, top of the line, horseman, breeder, and always intent on escaping, coming back to Moira against all the odds. And you'll have to read the book to find out if they made it. But, and I got the call of my life there about 6 months ago from Noel Pearson. He's one of the top movie producers in Ireland. He read the book. He says, I love it, and I'd like to do a Netflix mini-series on it. So now, my middle name always was However. However, he said, we got to find investors because the famine movies have no great track record of being successful. So he said, blah, blah, blah. But anyway, that's another story. But you could imagine like the awfulness of it all. And I tried to keep it light with interesting characters, etc. But the little piece that he plays on the tin whistle weaves its way through the book to a big dramatic conclusion, and it becomes known in the family as Liam's heir. And when I got that call from Noel, I thought, jeepers, why don't I try and write it? And if it were to happen, I could say, look, well, here's the thing I wrote. Would you consider this as your theme? So I did, brought in the orchestra. It's on my new CD, and I'd love to play it for you now. If you can imagine, like, there's poor old Moira up on the hill, like so many others, watching the convict ship sail away, and the loves of their lives, like, there, and in their heads knowing, like, they're never going to see each other again. But in their hearts, the hope that we as human beings have, it's the greatest thing we have, hope that they might. So that's the vibe. Hope you like it. Liam's there. Thank you. Thank you. That's Liam's there. Um, they say, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know who the heck they are, but they say that the Irish and the Scottish invented the tongue twisters. I hope we did. And I've learned loads of them, and this is the best one I've learned, and it's the hardest one I've ever had to learn because the words come out a mile a minute, and you got to be stone cold sober to sing it. All right? It's called the pheasant plucker. All right? So you can imagine, like, if you weren't sober, like 6 verses of this thing, and especially dedicated to the couple who saw me at their 50th wedding anniversary the last time, and they're here 10 years later. Congratulations. Okay, here we go. Diddly idle daddle daddle diddly idle daddle diddly idle daddle daddle diddly idle da. My dad's a pheasant plucker. He's a very busy man, so I help him plucking pheasants and to do the best I can. Sometimes he will go away and leave me on my own, and so I'm never sitting plucking pheasants all alone. I'm not the pheasant plucker, I'm the pheasant plucker's son, and I'm only plucking pheasants till the pheasant plucker comes. Diddly idle daddle daddle diddly idle da daddle diddly idle daddle daddle diddly idle da. My husband likes to pluck at me. We have a lot of fun. He tickles me with pheasant feathers when the plucking's done. The laughing and the giggling has to keep me fit and slim. There's nothing I would rather do than pheasant pluck with him. I'm not the pheasant plucker, I'm the pheasant plucker's wife. And when we pluck together, 'tis a pheasant plucking life. Diddly idle daddle daddle diddly idle da daddle diddly idle daddle daddle diddly idle da. For the job of pheasant plucking, my friend was born and bred. He likes to have a pheasant pluck before he goes to bed. I try and lend a helping hand to gather up the feathers. That is really all this pheasant plucking keeps us here together. I'm not the pheasant plucker, I'm the pheasant plucker's mate, and I'm only plucking pheasants because the pheasant plucker's late. Diddly idle daddle daddle diddly idle da daddle diddly idle daddle daddle diddly idle da. I have a pal in Donegal can pluck a frozen pheasant, so you have to pluck them fresh, or it's really quite unpleasant. I'm no good at plucking pheasants, at the plucking of no luck. Though some pheasant find it pleasant, I would rather pluck a duck. I'm not the pheasant plucker, I'm the pheasant plucker's friend, and if he were plucking pheasant, he would drive me round the bend. Diddly idle daddle daddle, how am I doing so far? No back. No. 2 to go. Whew. My son's a pheasant plucker, and he's very good to me. He frequently invites around to have a cup of tea. We have pheasant plucking parties for pheasant plucking games, and before we pluck the pheasants, we give them silly names. I'm not the pheasant plucker, I'm the pheasant plucker's mother, and a mother plucking pheasant is as good as any other. Diddly idle daddle daddle diddly idle da daddle diddly idle daddle daddle diddly idle da. My cousin is a pheasant plucker. He's the best I've seen. I'm no good at plucking pheasants. I really am good green. He can pluck a buffalo or even do a moose. I have trouble getting down a finer Dr. Goose. I'm not the pheasant plucker, I'm the pheasant plucker's cousin. In the time it took to sing the song, he plucked a half a dozen. Diddly idle daddle daddle diddly idle da daddle diddly idle daddle daddle diddly idle da. Woo. Thank you. Woo. So, Mike was telling you about our trip to Ireland. There's some flyers at my CD table over there. That's it. And if you do come with us, guess what song we learn on the bus? And we perform it and everything, yeah. It's good fun. We have a lovely trip, to be honest with you. I've done it 50, 60 times maybe. And we know now what you want is what I want. A nice, easy, relaxed pace. Nothing crazy. We leave at 9:30 in the morning. There's no other tour does that. 2 nights in each hotel, if you want. But anyway, it's lovely. The food is good. The driver is great. He's a driver tour guide. He's hilarious. And we just have lovely people like you because they took the gumption to come out here tonight. And everybody saw me. That's the little, if you like, secret ingredient, you know, because everybody is up. There's no pain in the ass anywhere. There's always one, but in our tour, it doesn't seem to happen. These 2 lads, Murphy and Casey, were great friends all their lives. They were widows, you know, in Dublin, teachers, retired, and they would decide to go down to Kerry for a little game of golf this particular weekend. And as they're almost there, coming to a small little nondescript little village, doesn't the old car go out of gas? And they're disgusted. They see a beaten old sort of petrol pump over there by an old little bar, and they push it over, and they go into the bar, and there's nobody there except this old lady. She's knitting behind the counter, the owner, obviously. And she says, hello. She says, welcome to Kerry. Would you like a drink? No, no, no. I said, we just look for a bit of petrol. Oh, she says, there's not a drop around for miles. I'm sorry. She says, you're stuck overnight now because the truck is going to deliver everybody tomorrow. I'm sorry. Okay, she says, is there a hotel? Oh, she looks, you look like a fine, honest-looking couple. The two lads, you can sure look. There's 2 bedrooms upstairs. Welcome to Kerry. I'll give you a feed of breakfast tomorrow. Fill your car up and you'll be on your way. That's exactly what happened. And they had a great weekend. But about a year later, Casey comes into the pub, they're local, and he's shaking a letter. And he says, Murphy, he says, do you remember there about a year ago we went down to Kerry for a bit of game of golf? Remember, like, we stayed with that lady there upstairs? Oh, yeah, yeah. Now, Pat, I want the truth now. The truth now, Pat. Did you sleep with her that night? I did. I knew it, you so-and-so. I knew it. And you gave her my name and address. He said, I did. I'm sorry, Casey. I'm sorry. Well, he says you're going to be more sorry now. She just died and left me the pub. That's a real Irish joke. Anyway, I was told that, like, don't do too long and take a break and then come back for another half an hour. So if I finish with this one, is that okay with you? And we'll then come, don't forget now, I'll have that little raffle. We'll draw it before I start. If somebody would remind me, please, for a free CD. But just to give you the little spiel, I have those, everything on the table is 15, to be honest, you know, and this is 15. I wrote a book, my first book. It's my little story about trying to make it in Ireland in the 70s. It's called Put Your Rosary Beads Away, Ma. She was always praying that at least we'd outlive her. And it says a salty tale. I'll be honest with you, it's worse than that. Just like yourselves, we were young and horny and up for any crack at all, you know. So that's not your cup of tea. Please don't buy the book. Because the only thing we didn't do in Ireland at the time was drugs because they weren't there. And if they were there, I'd be so shallow and immature, I would be on the drugs as well. But anyway, that's 15. But if you buy 2, you kind of $5 off, like 25. If you buy 3, it's 35. Just take $5 off whatever it costs. And we take cash, Visa, MasterCard, checks, and all that sort of stuff. But listen, every now and then, like, an amazing song comes along with an amazing arrangement and an amazing singer. And you say, oh, you just let it just flow all over you. That's the secret of good music. Just, oh, that's good therapy. Oh, you're very sweet. That's my aunt from Boston. Thank you very much. But like, it is the greatest therapy. And if you can give it your full concentration, it's as good as any Zen there is. Truly. So I'd like to sing you this one that I just love. I have it on my new CD. It's by Andre Bocelli. Any Italian Americans here this evening? We have a few. Well, good for you. I hope you like my Irish Italian. But it's a sort of a interesting, gorgeous song. So I have to put on a more flashy outfit if you don't mind. You know the best thing about all these jackets? They're all made in America. Yep. And made actually in Pennsylvania, actually. And I know I'm going to get a couple of boos now, but I don't care. This is my official Steeler tux. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, this is the great classic song, Time to Say Goodbye. But this is only the first half. We'll be back again for at least a half an hour in the second half. So thank you. Here we go. We do this with an orchestra. All right. Quando sono solo sugli l'orizzonte mancano le parole, se so cielo, cielo, c'è una stanza quando mente il sole, se non ci sei tu con me su la finestra mostra tutto il mio cuore che ha acceso, chiudi dentro me la luce che ha incontrato per strada. Time to say goodbye. Aesi che non ho mai veduto vissuto con te, adesso sì li vivrò con te, partirò. Su navi per mari che io lo so, no, il visto no più. It's time to say goodbye. Quando sono solo sugli all'orizzonte mancano le parole, e solo so che sei con me, tu mia luna, tu segui con me, tu mia luna, tu segui con me, con me, con me. Time to say goodbye. Aesi che non ho mai veduto vissuto con te, adesso sì li vivrò con te, partirò. Su navi per mari che io lo so, no, il visto no più, con te ho li vivrò, con te partirò. Su navi per mari che io lo so, no, il visto no più, con te ho li vivrò, con te partirò. E con te. Mille grazie. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Have a little break, and we'll see you in about 10 minutes. The shop is open. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. Oh, God, it's light. Anyway, thank you very much for attending and donating for the 50/50. I'm happy to say that we raised a total of $470. So then the winning ticket will be $235. And I'll give you the money at the end, okay? But let me, Cahal, where is he? Oh, there he is. Okay, can you, let's do a little like shuffling. All right, and the winner is
829-3024. Roy, Cahal?
yes, Roy C.A. Is there a Roy here? All right, I got it with the number. 859-349. that Roy over there? Roy, I'll give you the money afterwards, okay? What? I didn't hear. Anyway, thank you.
Thank you, Kathy. Fair play to you. Let's hear for Kathy for her efforts, ladies and gentlemen. Kathy, come here a sec, please. Kathy, before you go, just for my little raffle, just pick one out there, please. Okay, Joanne McNamee. All right, where's Joanne? Joanne, hang on, sit down again. Good for you. No, you don't have to come up. Come on down. What you can do is at the end of the show, you can pick a CD of your choice. Okay, so well done. Thank you very much. And thank you for everybody for trying that. And thank you for buying the books and the CDs. I appreciate it. The price of a gas from Pittsburgh. So that's cash flow, I assure you, and it's very much appreciated. Ladies and gentlemen, my dad was a great guy, as was my mother, a great lady. They were sort of ahead of their times, really. But when I was 6, Dad took me, just me, my brother wasn't born yet, to the movies. And at the time, we did not have television in Cork when I was 6. So I never saw moving pictures in my life before. So when we sat down, there was no popcorn or nothing. It was the treat was the movie. And I saw the river coming crashing towards me. Man, I thought we were going to be drowned. And it was in black and white, but what the hell did I know? I was only 6. But the marvelous movie, and I know you remember, it was the classic Bridge Over a River Kwai, you know? And it had that. Remember that one? And sure, that's just genius, that is, you know? As is this. Apparently Merv Griffin wrote that in 5 minutes, you know? And it's probably been the biggest money spinner of all for him. And good for him, I say. But anyway, that movie, I drove him mad playing it for months, you know? But it started my love affair with movies, movie themes. And I was, you name it, I've done cocktail music, weddings, lounge, roof, everything to make a dollar and keep my car when I was 17. That was pretty unusual in Ireland to have a car at 17. And I wasn't the best looking, but I had the car. Pouring rain, but get you home dry. But anyway, this is my latest little movie theme. I love it. I practiced it during COVID. I had loads of time to practice. It's from the 1961 movie with Paul Newman, Exodus. So it's the Exodus piano story. So here we go. And I hope you like it. And welcome back. Thank you very, very much. I'm going to bring you to every show I go to. Thank you. That's very sweet. I was thinking, like, my dad really was a great old guy. He was an accountant and he became an economist and all that sort of stuff. But he was wonderful, simple in not in a nice way, no sort of hang-ups or anything. I wish I'd gotten to know him better, but a friend of mine wrote this marvelous song, and I was thinking I'd sing it next because it sort of suits the intro that I gave there. It's written by Phil Coulter. His dad died. He's a big shot in Ireland, very successful and deservedly so. But his dad died, and he wrote this song in his memory. And we as Irish people can relate totally. Like most towns within a mile, you're on green land, green, spectacular countryside. And he called it the old man. You might say, how's the old man? How's your dad? He was grand. Here we go. The tears have all been shed now. We've said our last goodbyes. Soul's been blessed, he's laid to rest, and it's now I feel alone. He was more than just my father, my teacher, my best friend, and he'll still be heard in the tunes we shared when I play them on my own. And I never will forget him, for he made me what I am. Though he may be gone, memories linger on, and I miss him, the old man. As a boy, he'd take me walking on mountain, field, and stream, and he showed me things not known to kings, but secret between him and me, like the colors on the pheasant as he rises in the dawn, or how to fish or make a wish beside a fairy tree. And I never will forget him, for he made me what I am. Though he may be gone, memories linger on, and I miss him, the old man. I thought he'd live forever. He seemed so big and strong, but the minutes fly and the years roll by for a father and a son. And suddenly, when it happened, there was so much left unsaid. No second chance to tell him thanks for everything he'd done. And I never will forget him, for he made me what I am. Though he may be gone, memories linger on, missing the old man. What a great song. Thank you. Thank you very, very, very much. Mrs. Casey, back in lovely County Mayo, she was about 86 or 7 years old. Her husband had gone to his reward a few years before that, and she's coming home from Mass, slowly walking up the little boarding to the cottage. And what does she see with this back turned to her? A leprechaun. She thought she'd never see a leprechaun. Like she thought, that was just for the tourists. But there he was, about 3 feet tall, wearing my green tux in the cheek of it. And if you can catch a leprechaun and hang on to him about a minute, he's got to hand over either the pot of gold or grant you 3 wishes. So she crept up, and even like she's 86, 7 man, she's still fit. She's milking the cows and saving the hay. And she grabs him and hangs on. All right, woman, you have me. He says, what do you want? Well, she says, any chance at all of a little bit of money. And money just poured down from the heavens, thousands and thousands of pounds. It was a couple of years ago. And she got a bit more ambitious. She said, would there be any chance at all you could make me young and pretty again like I was 60 years ago? And man, she was gorgeous. And then she saw her cat going by. See that old fella? See that old cat there? His name is Murphy. Any chance you could turn him into a fabulous hunk of an Irishman that would love me? And this Brad Pitt vision of a fella came out of her. She says, are you Murphy? And he said, I am. And I bet you're sorry now you had me fixed. Oh, yeah. And it was this fella, he was sort of a strange mix-up of a fella, but he was sort of lonely. But like, I suppose he was lonely because he was mean. And there's nothing worse than a mean person, right? Like, he'd met this lovely girl and he was looking like for a nice, innocent, sweet little guy. He thought he met her, and they go to the dinner and he hands her the menu and he says, what would you like to eat? Well, she said, I think I'll have the surf and turf. And he said, think again. She should have known right there, like. But finally, anyway, like, fair play, he married her. But finally, she threw him out, And as she's throwing out the old suitcase behind him, she says, I hope you have a long, slow, lingering, painful death. And he said, oh, you want me to stay then? But sort of, like most of us, like, he sort of mellowed in the end, Too late, of course, but he did like it. And he ended up in a retirement home and he met Alice. And they courted for a while and they married. And the first night they were in bed and he looked over and he reached her hands and they fell asleep. And the second night he reaches over for Alice's hand and they look at each other and they fall asleep. And the third night he reaches over for Alice's hand. She says, not tonight, Pat, I'm too tired. That's nonsense. But anyway. When Kathleen and I met, Sean was her son from a previous marriage, 16, and he's a very talented fellow in the graphics department. There's a big supermarket chain in Pittsburgh, and he does all their advertising and stuff. But he's very good, and he threw me these lyrics one day. I never knew he was any way musical at all. And he said, what do you think of these? He says, could you write a melody of this? And I said, holy mackerel, these are good. And we sort of changed them around a bit, and took this bit and took that bit and all that little bit. But fair play, the essence of the words are his. And I hope you like it. It's sort of timely, I think. It's called William Link Arms with Me. I hope you like it. I remember all the words. That's not it. tempers flare, that our views divide us to despair. We all can do better, ask more from each other. What is the cost if we don't? Legends have died, so we won't. Will you link your arms with me? Stretch this hope from sea to sea, living together in loving peace. Hopes, dreams, and always free. Our feelings must evolve, fears must try and be resolved. Together find a better place. Don't fret color, creed, or race. Can't divide us with hate. When people died for our faith, will you link your arms with me? Stretch this hope from sea to sea, living together in loving peace. Hopes, dreams, and always free. We've overcome so much, stood together when times were tough. I've seen kindness cross many spans, our children steeped in hopeful plans. Show of friends who have been taken, their sacrifice was not forsaken. Will you link your arms with me? Will you link your arms with me? From sea to sea, living together in loving peace. Hopes, dreams, and always free. Will you link your arms with me? Thank you. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. We used to come home for lunch every day. That was our main dinner, you know. Even Dad, he'd come home from the school, and they'd have these little 15-minute radio commercials, and they'd play a few tunes, and they'd fall off the chair every time this one came on. It was a huge hit in the 60s. We hadn't a clue what it was all about, but now I understand it because it's called The Oldest Swinger in Town. Okay, I'm going to do it for this fellow over here. First name, Peter. He's a good man, and I know he has a sense of humor, but we're just going to roast him just because I have to pick somebody. And I know you're not the oldest guy here. I mean, but anyway, just a bit of hopeless nonsense, ladies and gentlemen. As I said, I now get it. The oldest swinger in town. When you score with a chick in a disco bar, take her home in your hairy little car, and you find you went to school with her ma and pa. You're the oldest swinger in town, and you won't look in the mirror in the light of day. Swear you dyed it when your hair turns gray, and you zip up your trousers but your belly's in the way. You're the oldest swinger in town. That was a nice verse. When the barber takes a little less time each week, kids don't understand a word you speak, and you walk into a disco and they offer you a seat. You're the oldest swinger in town, and you'd prefer iced tea to Bacardi and Coke. Sounds are too loud and there's too much smoke, and you'd like another dance, but you're afraid you'll have a stroke. You're the oldest swinger in town, yeah. Here you come with your chest all bare, a little gold ingot and a lot of gray hair, like the disco king meets Yogi Bear. You're the oldest swinger in town. Just one more now. When you're feeling as stiff as a skinhead's boot, rub on Vic where you used to splash Brute, and the latest punk fashion is your wedding suit. You're the oldest swinger in town, and you have to go shopping for your sex appeal. Travolta shades and your 9-inch heels. They say a man is just as old as the woman he feels. You're the oldest swinger in town, yeah. Here you come with your lips closed tight. Ah, you never smile, you know it wouldn't look right, 'cause your dentures glow in ultraviolet light. You're the oldest swinger in town, and you look so mean 'cause your pants is too tight. You're the oldest swinger in town, and it takes you all night to do what you used to do all night. You're the oldest swinger in town. Whoa, whoa, yeah, yeah. Hey. Thank you, Peter. Fair play to you. I know, I was talking to him. I'd love to hear him play. So listen, 2 more songs to go. This is fabulous. This is one of yours. This is a pre-Civil War song, and I think this one should be sung in every school all over through the world. You know, it's called Two Little Boys, and I picked it up on an old '78 thing. It's scratchy, but I loved it. Jack and Joe are 2 little boys. A couple of years before the Civil War, they're playing toy soldiers. Jack's horse falls apart. He's crying. Joe says, "Stop crying. We can hop up on my horse. Sure, we can go as fast on one." And just all pretend like, but Jack never forgot the favor. Joe completely forgot it until a few short years later, they're in the thick and terror of it all. And he sees his old buddy Joe badly wounded out in the battlefield. And even though they were sadly on opposite sides, that didn't matter. That was my buddy out there. He charges out amidst, as many of you veterans know, the indiscriminate bullets of war, and he rescues his friend. The greatest love of them all. And I just love this. And it's sort of patriotic. So if you don't mind, I'm just going to put on my patriotic outfit. I bought it. I'm going to wear it. Made in America. I dry clean them every week, don't worry. So listen, have a listen to the words. They are truly fabulous. 2 little boys. Here we go. Two little boys had 2 little toys. Each had a wooden horse. Gaily they played each summer's day. Warriors both, of course. One little chap then had a mishap. Broke off his horse's head. Wept for his toy, then cried with joy when his young playmate said, "Did you think I would leave you crying when there's room on my horse for 2? Climb up here, Jack, and stop your crying. I can go just as fast with 2. When we grow up, we'll both be soldiers, and our horses will not be toys. And I wonder, will we remember when we were 2 little boys?" Long years passed, war came so fast. One war blue, the other gray. Cannonballs loud, and in the mad crowd, wounded and dying lay. Up goes a shout, a horse dashes out from the ranks so blue, gallops away to where Joe lay. Then came a voice he knew. Did you think I would leave you dying when there's room on my horse for two? Climb up here, Joe, we'll soon be flying. I can go just as fast with two. You see, Joe, I'm all a-tremble. Perhaps it's the battle's noise, but I think it's that I remember when we were two little boys. Did you think I would leave you dying when there's room on my horse for two? Climb up here, Jack, and stop your crying. I can go just as fast with two. You see, Joe, I'm all a-tremble. Perhaps it's the battle's noise, but I think it's that I remember when we were two little boys. Thanks to all the veterans. Thank you very, very much. Great song, isn't it? I was heading home from Florida. I go down to Florida every winter. I love it. I play down there, golf clubs, churches, mobile home parks. What's not to like? You wake up in the morning, put your back, and there's heat coming from the sun. In Pittsburgh, it's a UFO in the winter. But anyway, I was coming home from my last show in Fort Myers back to Pittsburgh. It's roughly about 19 hours overnight, 2 day and a half sort of thing. And I didn't have satellite radio at the time, and I was losing the stations. It was really annoying. I turned the whole thing off. And I got the idea, why don't I try and write a song between Fort Myers and Pittsburgh? I never did it. I always have a crutch. I get the chords first and then get a bit of a chorus. And slowly the words come. It was all back to front in this case. But I came up with this one. And I had been, as I said, the kindness over here, you're marvelous. I was, at the time, I was there on my own because Ryan was going to school and all that sort of stuff. But you would bring me out for a game of golf. You might bring me out on your boat. Just barbecue in the back, Bit of friendship. It was lovely. Fellowship, as we say. And I really appreciated it. And mostly some Korean vets, but Vietnam vets that I knew and liked and loved their stories. And if they talk. And I was sort of full of all that when I was writing the song. And I came up with it finally called The Journey. So I'm going to leave you with that. And thanks to Mike's line, and welcome home. He stayed for the whole show. And he's got pneumonia, for God's sake. So I thank you for having me again, and all your committee. You're wonderful. And you are a marvelous audience. You truly are a marvelous audience. Seriously, you really are very good. And I'd like to say thanks to Dan over here. Where are you, Dan? Gentlemen, for all the help today and for making this show available on Zoom to people who couldn't make it. So fair play. I hope the sound is okay. But he worked very hard at making it so. So fair play. So ladies and gentlemen, my name is Cahal, or Cahal over here. It's alcohol without the L, actually. That's the best way. It's Irish for Charlie. And my last name, Dunne, is Irish for Brown, interestingly. So my real name in English would have been so much easier, no? But anyway, that's another story. Take care of yourselves, and happy Thanksgiving and Merry Christmas. And I hope, please God, I'll see you another time in this lovely area. Thank you. I hope so. Okay. So Here it is, ladies and gentlemen, the journey. I wake up each morning, I'm glad I'm alive. Get up with the sunshine and you by my side. I fought for my country and did it with pride. Raised a good family and we're still alive. And our journey is not over. It will never be. I thank my God and my country for this life you've given me. So many distractions just living today. I feel so sad for all those losing their way. I think of my grandkids and choke up with pride. God keep them safe and well in your holy light. And our journey is not over. It will never be. I thank my God and my country for this life you've given me. And our journey is not over. It will never be. I thank my God and my country for this life you've given me. And our journey is not over. It will never be. I thank my God and my country for this life you've given me. Yeah. And that's all she wrote. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Newport, surrounding areas. Take care. Sincerely, thank you.